What is going on, everyone? I am back on the mic today from Spectral Sound Tutorials, bringing you a tutorial about drums, not serum. You thought I was going to say serum. It's usually serum. Actually, no, you didn't think I was going to say serum because I titled this video accordingly. Future self, title this video accordingly. Please. Today, I'm going to talk to you about drums, mainly about drum compression. May not have mentioned that in the title, but this is a huge part of what I'm going to talk to you about. I'm going to show you how to take good drums, make them into better drums. Your drums are going to, mainly your kick and your snare, you're going to punch through your mix. They're going to be really strong and powerful, and overall it's just going to give your track a lot more energy. Now, let me move me into the corner here because you cannot see FL Studio from the sides. I almost exited out of that. That would have been bad. Okay, let's bring up a template. I'm going to start completely from scratch. I'm going to show you how I do my dubstep drums. So, let's get right into this. I have my own template set up here. Turn off. Phone's buzzing at me. Okay, we're good. I got my little template set up here. There's already a kick and a snare and a sidechain trigger, but we're not going to worry about that because the kick and the snare have empty channels, or they should have had empty channels. Why is the channel not empty? You don't obey my instructions. Okay, good. Save that as the template. I don't know why I had that down. Let me turn up my volume a bit. Okay. Now, first of all, the first thing is to find some good samples. Now, without good samples, I'm not much of a drum synthesizer. I mean, I've made a few snares, but to make for dubstep, like, I'm not good at making drums yet. I don't have too much experience. So let's get some good samples. I'm gonna go into the Disciple Christmas sample pack because that's free. You can download if you Google Disciple Christmas sample pack volume 3. Then it should come right up. All you gotta do is like their page or something. But I'm gonna take a VR kick. The kick I like is the Make Wubs Not War. Very nice kick. Just drag that in. Now let's go get a snare. I'm gonna go from the Phase 1 sample pack. Again, this is also free. All you gotta do is just like a couple pages on SoundCloud. It's from the Artist Union. I think Cymatic sponsored it. That's how I found out about it. But let's take a snare. I like snare 6. There's some other kind of good snares in here, but that's the one that stood out to me. So we got your basic thing going on there, 140. And sure, that sounds good. You got some good samples, but we can make these even better. First of all, make sure they're all normalized. These look pretty normal. I just press normalized anyway. So this kick right here, it's got a nice end right there, but the tail is too long, and I don't feel like shortening it that way because it's not harsh enough. I want it to be loud and then kind of suddenly drop off, because if it just fades out, it kind of lacks that energy and punch. It's a lot more clicky. We don't want it to be clicky, we want it to be punchy. So easy way to do that is to just go into here. I will take out this bit right here, and now we just have, okay, we got clickage at the back here. See, this doesn't end right in phase, so be easily remedied. Just take this part, fade it out. Beautiful. Love it. All right. Good kick. Now for the snare, that's fine. We don't need to mess with the tail. The tail will be edited later when we go into the compression. But and the big part of this compression is Maximus from FL Studio stock. Beautiful thing. Maximus is a multi-band compressor, which has a lot of there's a lot of controls here. You can adjust the bands. We're working on the kick. I'll just put the band about right there and maybe lower this. That's just so I can get a good sub. So right now we're just looking at the master. we're gonna have multiple maximuses, maximi. I'm just gonna say maximi. That's fun to say. This is a big part of making your kicks punchy. Because if we look right here, without anything, you see, it's about to there. It's not all the way to 0 dB. It's like -6 or something. But instead of just bringing up the level, we're gonna pop this up until the transient, not snare, let me get rid of that, is at 0 dB. There, now the transient is at 0 dB. This overall, just this, makes your kick super punchy and powerful, because instead of raising all the volumes, including the lower volume, you just raise the transient. I'm doing some transient shaping here. And that gets a really good, powerful kick. Now, that we're not finished with that. I'm gonna throw another Maximus on here. That one was just to get it up to 0 dB. Okay, and it's still not at 0 dB. Why? Why don't you do that? Okay, see, it's going over a little bit there. I don't really want it to go over. I don't want it to limit. I'd rather just have it go at 0 dB. So if we hold Alt and drag, then the snap is suddenly turned off and we can position it exactly how we want it. That is good. Okay, beautiful. Now let's go into this. Okay, it's still not at 0 dB, but that's the problem. There's some, I don't know what that is. There might be some aliasing, I don't know. But let's go into this. We can drag it up once again. That's just on the master, like I said. So we're gonna go into the lows here. That's fine. Okay, let's listen to this first of all. Okay, we're gonna leave the lows how they are right now. The mids and the highs just are dragging out just a little bit too much for me. So I'm gonna do a little bit of transient shaping. I love the half sign shape here. It's just, it's a really nice, I use it in a lot other places than this. And there, that got rid of that you can hear the high end that stays if we go like this. I don't want that sizzliness to stay. I want it to click and then end. So I'm gonna go, I'm not gonna do a full gate. Just gonna do something like that. A little bit of limiting. Okay, that's cool. But now the mids are also, this mid-range clappy area is also just hanging out a little too long. So we're going to do exactly the same thing. We're going to do a little bit of transient shaping. Let's see, I want to keep that on the line. There we go. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, so now we have a really nice kick here. And let me just mess around. We don't want to transient shape this too bad. But let me just mess around a little bit with the compression. Liking the way that's sounding real good. One other thing I always do, this low end, the sub, you want to be completely mono, no stereo. This is full stereo, this is mono. The mid and the high, you can leave where they are. It's okay if there's a bit of stereo. It'll add a little depth to your kick. I wouldn't add more to the stereo. Personally, you could, but I don't, that's not something that I normally do. So, okay. And after that, let's just throw a little bit of EQing on, just to take out a little bit of this. So now, before the compression, or without the compression and effects, this is what the kick sounds like. And then after all the effects. There's a huge difference there if you have trained your ear. You can really hear this kick is a lot more punchy, it's a lot more powerful, it doesn't trail out too long. It just kicks in, pounds through, and gets the job done. So now that's good for the kick. Move on to the snare. Also, and it's normalized at 0 dB, so you can control it with the leveler accordingly. Snare. Let's listen to this. Cool. Once again, let's pull up some Maximus to make this good snare even better. Transient shaping like I did in the kit. Hold Alt, position it just right. I think that's good. Okay. Now, I did the same thing before, the first Maximus just to get it at 0 dB. And now let's take the second Maximus to do some more detail work. Let's get these low bands correct. What I did there, I just made the band smaller. I selected this area where the punch of the snare is, so I can control the punch of the snare with this little compressor right here. And instead of just doing it with like the mid-range and doing the sub area as well, I just shorten these edges right here, so I have a good transient, the low end right here. So we're gonna just up the low end up a little bit. I feel like it could be a bit sharper. Let's lower it down a bit. See, that's good because now I made the low end pound through more. I made it pound through more, and then I just brought the level down a bit. So now it's still punchy, but it's not overpowering. Very nice. All right, let's look. Let's see what we can do with this. This is fun. With the snares, you can do stuff a little more along these lines. Do a little stereo shaping. You could do that with the snare. Works out pretty good. Alright. Sounds pretty good to me. See what else I can do. That's some EQ. Right here, this spot's ugly. Listen to it. Not liking that. That's muddying up my snare. So let's do one of these. Cut the sub because there are those little bits of sub that are extremely hard to hear, but they're messing things up. So let's just cut that out. I think there's a section right in here that's also getting a little bit harsh, so I'm gonna just do a little bit of EQing there, just down a little bit. go back into our Maximus. Let's raise the mids a little bit. Okay. Or maybe I did a little bit with the lows here. Hang on. That sounds pretty good to me. Alright, let's throw one last Maximus on there just to make sure it's not we're at a good level. And there's just that extra compressor on the end. I think I'm going to do that for the kick as well. Not to do much of an effect, just to make sure it's at 0 dB and to keep it there, so then you can edit it accordingly with the fader. No, we want the kick. You fool. Oh, I love that kick. Oh. Yes. Alright. So now this is a snare. Let's say before all the effects, this was how the snare sounded. After the effects, yes, you got a good tail, you got a punchy low end, and everything works out great. So these techniques, I wouldn't suggest doing these on very many other drums. You could do some compression and stuff on your toms just to make them a little more snappy, but this is mainly just for the kick and the snare. So yeah, I think I went over everything. Side chaining will definitely help. I can do a tutorial on that later if y'all want to. If you want me to do a tutorial on how I do my side chaining with the trigger here, then y'all can ask that down in the comments and I can do one about that. So yeah, I hope you found this tutorial helpful. Like if you found this helpful, subscribe for more tutorials such as this, and I will see y'all in the next video. Peace out.